best in radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. It's Kerry, Lutz. Time for another episode of What's Next. The date is July 22nd, 2014. We're brought to you by Borderless Holdings. If you're looking for gold or silver bullion, the traditional forms of keeping your gold and silver, or you're looking for wearable wealth, 24-karat jewelry that enables you to pass effortlessly through borders anywhere in the world, as well as being insurable and not subject to tariffs by various countries around the world if you bring them into the country, which can be 100 or 200% of the value, then call up Borderless Holdings, 855-604-6343, 855-604-6343, or go to borderlessholdings.com. Trustworthy, reliable, they ship quickly. It's the place to go. And tell them Kerry sent you. So what's going on today? Well, an amazing decision got handed down by the D.C. Circuit Court in Washington, which has the effect of invalidating a large portion of Obamacare. Who would have ever thought that this would happen? So basically, here's what the ruling holds. When Congress passed the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, which basically does the opposite of both of those, it gets rid of patient protections and makes all health care unaffordable. But be that as it may, otherwise known as Obamacare, it provided subsidies to people who purchased healthcare through exchanges. And the intent of the framers of this act, mainly the sponsors in Congress, was they wanted each state to have its own health insurance marketplace, otherwise known as healthcare.gov, which became the national one. And 14 states had the opportunity to have their own websites. The other 36 states basically said, nah, we'll pass on this one. And they turned out to have been smart because you remember all the problems with healthcare.gov they're still having. Its security issues. It became a nightmare. It crashed all the time. And you had to get the insurance companies to sign up. Just a nightmare. California, Oregon, New York, all having problems with it. And basically, the act specifically said that subsidies would only be available in states where they had their own website, their own healthcare exchange. The subsidies were not to be available for the federal healthcare exchange. It's literally what it said. I won't read you the act. So this came before a number of federal courts, finally wound its way up in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, or the Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. It's Federal Court of Appeals, second highest court in the land. There's a bunch of these courts of appeals. There's 11 circuit courts, and then there's these specialized ones. D.C. Circuit Court specifically hears on certain federal statutes, especially when it's listed in the statute that the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit, or the U.S. District Court for the D.C. Circuit, will hear challenges to the statute. And, it's a jurisdictional thing. Won't get into it. Too much lawyer, boring nonsense for you. So suffice it to say, it wound up at the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. And they said, administration, IRS cannot rewrite this to allow subsidies for people who've signed up on healthcare.gov, the federal website, which covers 36 of the states. And this is a rebuke to the administration. You can't just keep rewriting rules to suit your fancy. And Congress had legitimate purposes why they wanted states to run their own healthcare marketplaces. Big cluster, you know what? If you can't get subsidies, basically the reason for signing up at healthcare.gov goes away. You're better off going elsewhere. If it's not reversed or stayed, is going to be a major problem that I don't know how they're going to deal with it. It could be the beginning of the end, the first nail of many in this coffin. well, not the first, but one of the final nails, put it that way. So something to watch out for. Of course, the administration is downplaying it. It's going to have to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is smart. They will reject it and let the administration go scramble. And we'll see if it gets stayed. It could very well be that this decision will be stayed pending further appeals. The next step will be for the government to have a petition for a rehearing en banc. Well, first, they will petition to throw out this decision, have a rehearing before this panel. It's a 3-judge panel. It was decided 2-1. When that gets turned down, then you have a petition for a rehearing en banc, which is before the entire circuit court to all of the judges of the D.C. circuit. Those are seldom granted, but every now and then it happens. And once that's turned down, then it goes to the Supreme Court, where you would have to put in a petition for a writ of certiorari, and the court would have to agree to hear it. They'd have to grant your writ. And you need a majority of the judges who are hearing or basically review it. And if certain judges have to recuse themselves, then, 4-4, it's gone. You got to have a majority, I believe. But anyway, it's interesting outcome here. We'll see what it has, what impact it has on it, but it will probably be stayed in the next day or two, would be my guess. But then again, if these judges are fed up with this administration and its complete and utter lawlessness, maybe not. Who knows? So, hey, looking at the price of gold, little mini raid under effect. They had knocked down gold, got down as, right now it is trading right at $1,310. They'd gotten it down to $1,305. And that wouldn't hold. Not real effective. So they're trying to get it down under $1,300. Silver is up 14 cents the ounce. It's over $21, trading at $21.07. This as per Kitco. Forget about silver fixes and all that stuff. Just really interesting. They knock down one metal, the other one goes up. Let's take a look at platinum. Up $1, $14.87. It's down from its peak of $1,500. My guess is it's going back up. Palladium is still up there. It's at $8.73. It's down $1. I'm just impressed by the strength of palladium, even though it appeared to have hit its cycle high. So let's see what happens there. But, those platinum and palladium are still holding up. The bull market in metals, as far as I'm concerned, is still underway. I don't know what's going to happen here, but the dollar index, we're looking, dollar is going up again, 80.79. Anything over 80 is pretty good for the dollar. Crude has been inching up again, 104.74. I think it's on a buy signal, according to Charles Nenner. And we got great response from David Gerwitz being on again. A lot of you interested there. So we'll be getting him on more regularly if you prefer. And you can go over to charlesnenner.com, send David an email if you want to. And hey, if you want to support the show, clubfsn.com. Like I said, the goal is set up a video studio, get it out of my house, and really stream this thing 24/7 so you get the information. There's a lot of alternative sites out there. I think what we do is we give you the alternative news in a way that's not going to scare the hell out of you, that's interesting, hopefully that's entertaining, that makes a difference to you. That's my goal. If you've got some guests that you want to hear me interview, please send me an email or anything else to khl@kerrylutz.com, khl@kerrylutz.com. Follow us on Facebook. You know how to do that. Just go to Facebook, look up Kerry Lutz or Financial Survival Network. Follow us on Twitter @Kerry Lutz. And you can subscribe to the Financial Survival Network. Just go to the iTunes store and look up Financial Survival Network or Kerry Lutz and subscribe. You'll automatically get every episode downloaded to your iTunes app. So again, clubfsn.com. Go there. Anything you want to give is appreciated, and we'll talk with you again soon. We got Danielle Park coming up today, Bob Hoy, and Peter Grandich. So it's a full day today. We're having a lot of fun. You have fun too. and stay tuned.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.